kicking back on this summer breeze. Welcome to Double K's Classroom. Class is officially in session.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Hello, hello, hello. What is up, y'all? What is up? I am Double K, and I am here to talk to you about a little bit of baseball. That's right, baseball is back officially in session, and I am excited. It began with a two-game series in not in Oakland, not in Seattle, but in Japan. Two-game series between the Oakland Athletics and the Seattle Mariners to start the season. The series isn't important in the grand scheme of things. It's two games out of 162, but the series was important if you're a fan of Ichiro, if you're a fan of the Mariners, or if you're just a fan of good baseball. Um, it was a two loss, like the A's took two losses in the series. Um, on I believe it took place Thursday and Friday. So it was a sorry, I'm a little distracted right now trying to look some stuff. It was two game series. Like I said Oakland lost both. Great games. One was 5-4 in 12 innings. I forget the score on the other one. I'm trying to pull it up right now. But the A's did lose both, and Seattle won both, and sent Ichiro off on positive note. Ichiro retired after Thursday's game. He's officially done with baseball. Retires as a Mariner. And a little article that I found rather interesting. Ichiro actually started and ended his career with against the Oakland Athletics. Played his first game of his first season against Oakland Athletics, and plays his final game in his home country of the season. Let me just tell you, man, that's a heartfelt story right there. That is a big time heartfelt story. So while the rest of the league was still finishing up spring training, because I believe the official start to the season is this upcoming Sunday. The Oakland Athletics were starting their season 0-2. Like I said, one was a 9-7 loss, and then the other was a 5-4 loss in extra innings. They completed their spring training with a 12-11 win over the Cubs. The A's have a lot of young players that are really good. Um, that I feel they play two. Here's what's funny: they play two regular season games in Japan. Now they come back to play their final spring training game against the Giants on Sunday. So I don't know how this works. But anyway, so the Oakland A's are 0-2. They come in with a solid roster. Their depth chart seems a little bit because this is another season where the Oakland A's come in with a who roster. There's many players on the Oakland A's roster that you would know, just right off the top of your head. That is, guys like Matt Fear or Mike Fears, who's their first tier starting pitcher. Joakim Soria, you would know Fernando Rodney, the Yersermo Pettit, Lou Trevino. These are all guys, Blake Tran. These are all guys you would know from the bullpen. But the starting lineup: Mike Fears, Marco Estrada, former Blue Jay, Frankie Montas, Paul Blackburn, Daniel Mengden. I've heard of, but all the rest, who? The starting lineup: Josh Fegley is your starting catcher. Know the name only because he played for us last year. Matt Olson, Jerkson Profar. I like him. He was a great pickup for them from the Texas Rangers. Young kid, second base. Moves Marcus Semien over to shortstop. Matt Chapman starting at third. Chad Pender backing up all three. And Frankie Barreto backing up all three. You got Nick Martini in left field over Chris Davis, who will be hitting at the DH spot. You got Ramon Laureano at center field and Steven Piscotty in right, with Mark Canna backing up Laureano and Piscotty, and Davis backing up Martini and Pender. They also have Dustin Fowler backing up Laureano and Canna in center field. A solid roster. Solid roster going into regular season. I don't necessarily know if I see this team winning 90 games like I did last year. I think if they do win 90 games, it's going to be kind of a stretch. I think this only because this team is going to have a hard time getting the season started. I think the defense has to figure out, or not defense, but the offense has to, and the team hitting has to figure out the rhythm. The pitchers have to start finding their rhythm and being able to do what they do. But I think once they do hit the groove, they will be a wild card contender and possibly a division contender, depending on how well Houston does coming out the gates. But we'll have to see about that. But the Oakland A's, I do expect them to be a pretty decent squad this year. So please keep an eye out for them, just like you did last year, because last year they were a solid squad. I'm going to go ahead and take a first commercial break, and then we'll come back with lesson of the day. I'm going to also take that time to take a drink and get a couple more seconds in watching one of my favorite movies of all time, Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah, if you like Kung Fu, if you like comedy, it's a classic Stephen Chow movie, regardless of what Cole says. Ha! This is Double K's Classroom right here on the 486 Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, right here on Revolving Door episodes.
Hey listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing three semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
All right, I'm going to have to do something I don't normally do here, and that is end up taking a drink on air, or not drink like alcohol, but taking a drink of this water on air. Hold on. All right, so I had to get my My voice ready for this. All right, look. I'm going to state three things right off the top here, so that way nothing more can be, nothing of these ilk can be thrown at me. I do not hate LeBron James. I consider him easily one of the top five basketball players of all time. I think that he is a physical specimen that we've never seen before. But I think as a basketball athlete, he hasn't really done anything that hasn't been seen before. He's definitely appreciated as a great basketball player. He's one of the best of this generation. Been a pleasure to watch him play this entire time, his entire career, all 16 years. LeBron James is not now, nor has he ever been in his career, in my personal opinion, a leader of men. People can call me an idiot. People can say, "Oh, da, 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 look at that Miami team. He was the leader of that team." Yeah, but let me first break down for you what my definition of a leader of men is somebody that can rally their teammates around them. Somebody that, regardless of their teammates' individual skills, can get the very best out of their teammate no matter what. And pushes their teammates to be better people, or to be better athletes, to be better players, to be better teammates. Or lead through fear. Leader of men has a tendency to drill sergeants. We see examples of this. Corporate bosses, leadership through fear. We see it all the time. It's not necessarily the most effective technique, but it's there. Leadership, or leadership out of respect, where the people respect you so much that they want to do their best around you. I just don't believe that LeBron James falls into any of these categories. If you look at every team that LeBron James has ever been successful on, what I mean by successful is either reached the finals or won the finals. He was surrounded by veteran players who knew how to play their role, allow him to do what he needs to do, and play their role, and just make sure that they are a very complimentary piece to him. His first run to the finals in 2007 with Miami, a bunch of veteran players around a very young LeBron, who was ready to lead them to the finals because the East wasn't exactly the strongest conference at that time, but was strong enough to was ready to lead them to the finals, but wasn't ready to lead them against a team that had true leaders in Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, veterans, experienced leaders, and they played as a team. And you just kind of had this ragtag bunch of veterans on this young superstar in the making. His next trip to the finals, which I believe was 2011 with Miami, it showed where, like I said, I'm not speaking from personal experience. I don't know LeBron James, and I'm not going to claim to know LeBron James. I'm talking about somebody that I trust, mainly because I went to high school with the dude. I've sat and talked to him face to face. He's a trustworthy dude to me. He doesn't seem like somebody that would say something just for the sake of saying something, not to say that I know him. It's been years since the last time I spoke to him. But I watched an interview on what is the Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, and in that interview, Eddie House proceeds to speak about the fact that he played on that Miami team in 2011, and he watched LeBron James give up on his team. A leader of men does not give up on their team. I'm not saying a leader of men can't have flaws, but this was another example of a time in which LeBron James had a chance to be a leader of men and just wasn't quite there yet. The Miami years, I can't really, yes, was he the leader of that team? Yes. Was he technically, if you want to take it down to its technical definition, a leader of men? Yes. But did he truly have to lead anybody? Look at that roster. Dwayne Wade, Udonis Haslem, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, fucking Mike Miller. These are all guys that were veteran players who knew how to play their role and do what needed to be done around LeBron James to help him win. They were already pre-established in these types of roles. They understood how to play this role. And he had a great run in Miami, but he didn't necessarily have to be a leader of men. Now, when he goes back to Cleveland, that's about as close as you come to him having to be and grow into the mold of leader of men. It's him. It's him becoming sort of like, because Kyrie had been there. He hadn't necessarily been a winner because he hadn't necessarily had winning teammates. But Kyrie hadn't necessarily been a winner, but Kyrie was the leader of that team when LeBron James came in. LeBron James' status took the title of leader away from Kyrie. But as much as LeBron was the star of the team, I think Kyrie was kind of what held the team together, which is why they kind of became a ragtag bunch around LeBron after Kyrie left. Um, Now, do I say that people on LeBron's team don't look up to him? Like he's not the captain of the team. He is. Whenever almost on any team, sports team you go to, the most talented person on the squad most of the time is the captain of the squad. The most talented person, regardless of position, is normally the whatchamacallit. And if they're not the number one talented guy, they're at least in the top three. You look at like Derek Jeter on some of those Yankees teams. He wasn't always the most talented guy on the squad, but he was always the leader of the squad. All right. So once again, Kyrie and LeBron. The most talented guy wasn't necessarily the leader of the squad, at least not in my opinion. Same thing with LeBron and D Wade. The most talented of the two wasn't necessarily the leader. I think that this Lakers experiment is kind of showing LeBron is not built to be a leader of men. Not in the sense of the way that he came into the squad. This Lakers squad was gelling and growing last year under a gelling and growing coach in Luke Walton. Now here we sit a year later. Luke Walton's a pariah that people are saying, that people like what's that kid's name on Speak for Yourself with Chris Carter and goddamn, I can't remember the LeBron Dick Ryder dude, but Nick Wright got people like him saying Luke Walton is never an NBA coach, and he's never going to be an NBA coach, and nobody's going to want to hire him again because he's just not a good coach. You're putting too much on Luke, man. The reason why Kevin Durant works in Golden State is because Kevin Durant came in, stepped in, and played his role. People say, "Oh, well, he stepped into a group of veteran players." Yes, a group of champions. He did, but he understood his role. He accepted his role, and he dominated at what his role was. LeBron could have done the same thing, taken the leadership role like he did, but made sure to make Luke Walton his guy. Instead of embracing whatever coach he's given and trying to make the team better that way to give them the best shot, LeBron chose to shut out this coach. And I don't care. I don't want to hear, well, you know what? Just because, if you're smarter than the coach, man, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Bullshit. You know how many bosses I've worked for in my life that I've been way smarter than? And I humbled myself before them, and I humbled myself with them, and because they were in that position, he is your head coach, LeBron. You humble yourself. Even if you know more than him, then you know what you do? You take that knowledge and you offer to help coach, teach these other kids the right way to do it. You work with coach. You don't come in and just go, you know what? You ain't the kind of coach I like, so bye. And push him out the door, which is effectively what's happening. And I put part of this on Magic Johnson for blocking, for allowing LeBron James to come in and have this kind of say. If Luke Walton could coach 5 superstars to a 39-1 record, then trust me, you give the man LeBron James and a LeBron James that's buying into his system, and Luke Walton could have won 50 games this season. But LeBron James doesn't buy in. They bring in all these stupid-ass superstars, old-ass superstars. No offense to JaVale McGee. Love you to death, dude. But you should have stayed with the Warriors and just kept winning chips at the veteran minimum. Went to L.A. for big money, and y'all ain't even going to be in the playoffs this year. Rajon Rondo, you've been hurt damn near half the year. Lance Stevenson been the only really consistent contributor, and he ain't really even done shit. LeBron's been your big money guy, and yeah, he put up the numbers 28-7-7 or 27-8-8. He's putting up hella numbers, a hell of a number. But real talk, what are numbers if you don't win? Truly, what are numbers if you don't even make the playoffs? Who gives a shit if you average 27-8-8? If you didn't even make the playoffs, if you couldn't even compete for a championship? Sorry, it's just the way it is. LeBron James, amazing basketball player, outstanding talent. Call this a fucking hot take, hate it if you want. LeBron James is not a leader of men. Period. That's been my lesson of the day for today. I'll be back in a little bit to talk a little Giants. Going to take a quick commercial break, listen to a couple more podcast previews, and we'll see you in a few.
Man brain. You know you want it. You know you need it. Let me introduce you to our team of audio professionals, 100% committed to giving you the greatest extreme comedy podcast of all time.
What's SPH? I'm so super cute.
Send me your orgasmic release videos.
You can get it rootin'. You can get it tootin'. You can get it doing doughies in your yeet. Mi nombre es Tío Yeti. And you just laugh at little Hank. I ain't gonna pretend I is fresh. But looks like you might like that.
And most importantly, I'm Skullfucker. Rah! Go to manbrainpodcast.com to get orally violated. Manbrain out.
Hello, Radio World. This is K Double here to let you know about KD5P, K Double's fifth period music class, a bi-weekly music show here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network, where every other Friday night at 8, I take you on a musical journey through the careers of some of your favorite musical artists. So check me out on Spreaker.com/4 Aces Presents Radio or on iHeartRadio every other Friday at 8 p.m. on Revolving Door episodes. Peace. KD5P.
All right, and I am back. Be sure to get over to the Double K's Classroom fan page, y'all, and be sure to get your vote in on who you want to listen to next week on that episode of KD5P, as you have a choice between 50 Cent, Notorious B.I.G., The Roots, and Jay-Z. In our 90s rap listeners choice episode, so be sure to get your vote in on there, and be sure to tune in next Friday at 8 to see who the winner is and to listen to some good music. Let's get back to talking a little bit of basketball or baseball. Let's see. San Francisco Giants have yet to play a regular season game, unlike the Oakland Athletics, who have played two. But they are having a pretty decent, pretty decent spring. I believe they've won more games than they've lost. I really don't keep track of spring training records. Like they really don't mean anything to me. They aren't even showing them anymore. But they're coming off a season where they were 29th in runs scored, 25th in batting average, 25th in on base percentage, 29th in slugging percentage. They can get better in all those things. They're coming off 5 straight wins and a tie, or 4 straight wins and a tie, and so they have a good team that as the season goes along. I doubt we're going to see a type of classic Giants run. It's not an even year anyway. Classic Giants runs into the World Series, but we may see a competitive Giants team altogether. I believe that we will, because the Giants are a pretty good team, starting with their ace. They got their ace fullback, Madison Bumgarner. He's going to start game one. They have Derek Rodriguez as their number two. I don't see Johnny Cuerto. I guess he's still hurt. Or they let him go or something. Andrew Suarez is the third starter, Jeff Samardzija the fourth, and Chris Stratton the fifth starter. Um, that should make for a solid lineup that can win about 60 or 70. They're going to say 60 to 70 wins, but I doubt anything more than that. They got a bullpen that consists of Tony Watson, Sam Dyson, Mark Melicon, who they picked up this year, Ty Block, Stephen Okert, and Will Smith is the closer. I remember Will Smith. I want to say their starting lineup, of course, is with the incomparable Buster Posey at center, Brandon Belt at first, Joe Panic at second, Evan Longoria at third, Brandon Crawford at shortstop. They thought it was going to be Bryce Harper in center field, but it's Steven Duggar. They got Chris Shaw in left field and Mac Williamson in right. Like I said, not a lot of names that you're going to know. You got Pablo Sandoval backing up Longoria at third and backing up Belt as the third first baseman behind Austin Slater. But I just don't think they have a squad that's, like I said, going to win anything major this year. I think that we may see them make a small run in the middle of the season and make it all look good, but I doubt that they'll get anywhere with it. The Giants were a great team. They're in the rebuilding years. Their owner, I don't know, he's just not necessarily making that brighter decisions, but they're on the right track, because like I said, they did get a couple meetings with Bryce Harper, so that led me to believe that oh damn, they just lost 15-3 to the Royals in spring training. But anyway, but I see them as a solid squad that will only get better as time goes along. They're just young. Giants fans, there's plenty of hope, but you're not going to do a 2 or 3 in 5 years, or 2 or 3 in, was it 3 in 5 years run, which wasn't a championship run. It was 3 championship runs, but it wasn't a dynasty. Sorry, I don't care what you want to say. That's just me. But anyway, that's it for me for today. I'm kind of tuckered out. Hope y'all enjoyed this. And my thoughts on the A's and the Giants for spring training. We'll talk a little bit more about baseball in general, probably within the next couple of episodes. But join me next week for the KD5P and the listener's choice. Go to my Twitter page, double KK double, or the Double K's Classroom fan page, and place your vote. The poll is up now. Just click on the link for K-Double's 5th period music class, the event. See y'all then. Talk to y'all later. Listen to 4 Aces Presents. Got all kinds of shows coming up this week. We got Mr. Deacon's Experience tomorrow. We got Planet of Cold Blues Rock and Cold coming up next. He's going to be playing some Eddie Money for y'all, so be sure to listen to that. Then we also have, what else? We also have Mr. Deacon, like I said, tomorrow. We got Lip Gloss and Mics on Sunday, Brick on Sunday, and West Coast Bias this Sunday for sure. And then Monday, Dirty Talk 101. Tuesday, Kings and Queens of Porn. And then we're back to the cycle on Friday next week with Raw Impact Unleashed, K-Double's 5th grade music class, and maybe a V1. We'll see. But until then, y'all have a great week. Peace.